Hi, good people. It's Sherry. I'm here with some free and valuable information for you. Some information that will help you to benefit yourself as well as others. Okay, so you already clicked. I know you want to see what's going on here. Trauma show starring you. I'll be talking about that tonight. This is a good one, so tune in. Okay, I'm going to be speaking on the aspect of revenge porn and how it is now being live streamed, okay, and used and can leading up to assaults and or trafficking, okay? All right, because they sell it. All right, so stick around. I'll get into the details of it, the who, what, where, when, why, and how of this trauma show, okay, and how you can avoid being a part of it, because obviously you don't want to partake in a trauma show if you don't have to. Am I right? Okay, you don't want to be trafficked, you don't want to be assaulted. Okay, so let me help you. All right. Okay, so I'm looking down at my notes here, and just for references here. All right, so again, trauma show starring you. Okay, you've heard of the Truman Show? That's the old Jim Carrey movie. That's when he was making his crossover from being comedian and comedic roles to actually doing, you know, drama and more serious roles. And it was wonderful. And if you go look at that movie, I'm telling you, it like heralded the start of the reality TV generation. Okay, that was back in early 2000s, late 90s, and it was before reality TV became a big hit. You know, before what was it, Survivor, and oh my goodness, Paris Hilton and her friend Nicole Richie, they had that little reality. You know, before that all became popular. That movie, okay, talked about it. Anyways, I digress. The True Man Show, the one true man in the whole show, because remember, you'll have to watch it to see. But those of us who know, know. Anyways, this is a little bit different. This is like the Truman Show, where he was being recorded non-consensually without his knowledge. And this is in the arena of revenge porn / cyber stalking, okay? So that makes it just a little bit a different twist, okay? That's why it's called the Trauma Show, starring you, okay? And I want you to not be on that show. Again, this is a form of cyber stalking, all right? Cyber stalking is, I've printed out the definition here, just so you know, not that you already don't have a good idea, but just so we can refresh ourselves. Cyber stalking is the use of the internet and other electronic means to stalk or harass an individual. It may include false accusations, monitoring, identity theft, threats, solicitation for sex, or gathering information that may be used to threaten and harass. I know in my case with my cyber stalking, it has crossed over into everything, including, you know, my online dating stuff. So that's a real hoot. Anyways, enough of that, right? Trauma show. How do you become, you know, I said we're going to discuss the who, what, where, when, why, and hows of this whole thing. Okay, so to begin with, you don't want to be in porn, right? You're not a porno star. You don't want to be. You know, I think even the people who do it don't want to be, but okay. Anyways, different video. You don't want to be in revenge porn. Anyways, if you're in any kind, you don't want to be in revenge porn where somebody's doing it against your will. Okay, so let's figure out, how do you become a target for it, huh? Because once you're targeted, it is hard to get off, you know, because it's cyber world, right? It's hard to control your image and where it's going, right? Being broadcasted out, broadly casted, your image, okay? And how is this done? Okay, so we'll go to the how first, right? Well, as you know, electromagnetic frequencies, my favorite word, EMFs, okay? And what that is frequencies are sound waves. It's how we're getting this broadcast right now, okay? It also operates on TV, radio, internet, basically anything, any signal that's broadly casted, okay, to homes, to devices, to computers, to phones, to internet, to radio, excuse me, to radio, it is the internet, that's what it's called, right? Provides the intranet, that is run off of an EMF, right? An electromagnetic frequency, right? A sound wave traveling, okay? It also, I'll just give you an example, okay? You can look it up on your own, but radio waves, TV signals, microwaves, infrared rays, ultraviolet rays, and even X-rays, okay? You get it? So again, this broadcast is being done courtesy of an EMF, an electromagnetic frequency, okay, which is used when you're doing cyber stalking someone. Okay, and again, it's in our environment. It's all over. We're saturated with it. You can hardly get away from it. That's why the stalking is serious, because once they target you, it's hard to get off of it. Your image is everywhere, because EMFs are everywhere, right? Sound waves, drones here, the towers, right? The electrical towers. This is a satellite broadcasting it, right? Then you have transportation systems use it. Also in the home, you know, TV, like I said, TV, radio, internet, all that. It's all up in our environment, right? 5G, what are we on now? 4G, okay? That's frequencies. Not to mention, I've discussed this in another video, our thoughts and emotions are all evoked potentials in our body and can be read because they give off an EMF, an electrical magnetic frequency, and the whole earth is surrounded by an electromagnetic field, right? Okay, roll with me. We're not going to get too sciencey, but watch the other video if you're curious about it. But you get it. EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, how we're getting this broadcast. So that plays a part in cyber stalking, because that's how it's done, right? All right. Satellite in my... Oh. Satellite, right? The old, I think there was a song off of that, Dave Matthews. Okay, anyways, it was a good song. It's a good video, too. The guy from Big Bang Theory is in it. Check it out. Check it out. You'll like it. It's an oldie, right? But they knew about satellites even then. It was so powerful. That's what powers all of this. Again, an example, this broadcast. Satellite. Okay, satellite powered. Powerful. Okay, what does that have to do with cyber stalking? Because it powers it, okay? And it live streamed, right? It's wonderful, live streaming, okay? And how that works again is it's broadly casting from these towers, right? From the satellites to the towers to our homes and devices. Okay, fine. But now what happens when it's done non-consensually? Okay, Houston, we have a problem. And here's another thing about those satellites, about those frequencies, about that cyber stalking capability. It's all can be done in real time. Okay, so revenge porn, also tracking GPS on your phones. Okay, that's all real time. So if somebody sets their sights on you, if you become a target, the modern day technology, advanced satellite-based technology makes this all so much easier to be done. Okay, I don't mean to sound like I'm, harping on the issue, but I just want you to know so that you can avoid this if possible, ladies and gentlemen and good people out there. Okay, I didn't say perfect people, because I'm not. We already know that. But good people. Okay, let me help you with this a little bit. Okay, so now satellite-based technology used in cyber stalking for things like revenge porn. Okay, what is that being done then? Now, just a regular broadcast like this, when you're consensual, I'm consensually doing this broadcast, right? I have information I want to share. The people who are watching, you're consensually watching it. I hope nobody's like holding her eyes open over there and MK Ultraing you. No. This is consensual, right? Okay, so that's different. That's using EMFs, frequencies, the power of the advanced satellite-based technology in a good way, okay? Then it's a tool, all right? Wonderful tool. Now, with every tool, it can also be weaponized, like cars, like, knives, right? You can use a butter knife to butter your bread, or you can use it as a, as it can become a weapon, if, whatever, anything, any object, okay? And any technology, okay? So when you're using it consensually, it's a tool. It can also be used in the medical field to do things like they have ultrasound surgery at our local hospital where if you have tumors, and I've seen this done, you can Google, Google it, YouTube it, and you'll see examples of people who have had things like brain tumors removed without a cut to their head, without a scalpel, nothing touched their head. The ultrasound frequency removes the tumors precisely without cutting into the flesh, okay, from your brain. So, ultrasound frequency, electromagnetic frequency. Get it? Okay, I'm harping because it's important. Repetition is the mother of retention. That's why you'll hear me repeating myself often. It's not just that I like to hear myself speak. Hello. Anywho's, so with anything that is a tool, it can also be weaponized, depending on whose hands it's in. All right, so I want you to remember this word. You remember EMF, electromagnetic frequencies. Also remember this one, do. Not like the honey-do list, you know, for those of us who are married, you know, or whatnot, you know, you have a husband or a boyfriend, you know, honey, can you do this? Can you build this cabinet? Can you, you know, da-da-da, can you cook this meal? You know, honey-do, like that, or the honey-do melons that are delicious. I love those. Anyways, this is not those. This is not those. This is not Mountain Dew either, although I like a good Mountain Dew too. This is an acronym for direct energy weapon. Okay, so direct energy. Energy, I'll give you an example. Electricity is a form of energy, okay? Now, when it's nighttime, obviously the energy, the electricity is on because the lights are on. Okay, we can't see the current moving, but we know that it's on because we see lights, when otherwise it would be dark. Okay, so electricity is one example of a form of energy. Okay, also electromagnetic frequencies. Electrical, you hear the word, you get it? Magnetic, just like it sounds, and a frequency. Okay, that's a form of energy. So when they say direct energy weapons, electromagnetic frequencies are such a thing. Now, electromagnetic frequencies in and of themselves are not weapons, right? We're using it right now. It's a tool to get a message, right? To broadcast, to talk, to learn information, right? You can look up recipes, da-da-da. People recording them. So, okay, that's a tool. But like every tool, it can become weaponized, all right? So, direct energy weapons. A lot of times you'll hear the word in front of it, non-lethal. Well, yeah, it's non-lethal if you don't turn it all the way up. But it's also can be lethal, like any tool, right? A car is not lethal if you're just driving it, but if you hit somebody, then it's lethal. So don't be misled, okay? It's depending on if you turn it up, it can become. Anyways, direct energy weapon. Learn it. It's the 21st century. It would benefit you to know it. And in this case, in this video, we're talking about cyber stalking and revenge porn. They're using the broadcast as a direct energy weapon. They're weaponizing it. It's a form of direct energy. It's a frequency. It's a broadcast. And they're taking it and broadcasting people without their permission, okay? Putting their image on websites. That's a weapon. What would you call it? It's hurting. It's assaulting. It's putting people at risk to be assaulted. It's putting people at risk to be trafficked. It's a weapon. Okay, now that was the what, right? Okay, so you got that part. Okay, now I will get into it a little more, but you got the general idea. Who is doing something like this? Who on God's green earth is doing revenge porn to other people, putting their image on websites? Who would do this? Okay, I talked about the what. Now we're going to talk about the who. Then I'll get more into it, the actual steps that are involved. You know, getting yourself put on revenge porn, okay? How they actually do it. All right, but wait for it. I'll be quick. All right, who's doing this? Who in God's green earth would want to do this? I did a video on the power pyramid. You might want to reference it, but I'm sure you guys already kind of know. You know, anybody for any reason. Usually it would have to do with money, but as in the word, revenge porn, it can also be for revenge. Now revenge, okay, you say, well, you must have did something. Sometimes. And sometimes not. Sometimes you could have just been, you know, the person that was just too goody-goody, or the person that you had something that this person didn't. You could have said, you know, we're human, so we say, you know, incorrect things, right? No, none of us is perfect. Nobody controls the tongue like they want to, right? So at some point in your life, you've offended somebody, you've done something, you've said something, you know, so if somebody's petty enough or has the connections, can get revenge on you, okay? And in this case, they can do it by, you know, doing revenge porn, okay? Using the satellite broadcast. How? I'll get to the how, okay? I talked about the what. I'll get to the how, but who? Who would do this? Okay, well, let's start from the higher up part of the pyramid, okay? I don't mean to flash that sign because I do not believe in that. I'm just showing you the sign of a pyramid, okay? That's all I'm doing, all right? Just because other people who are into the occult use these signs doesn't mean that the rest of us can't use it when we're actually talking about a pyramid, okay? So it's not code for anything, I promise you. All right, so Maybe I should call it the hierarchy. Okay, let's call it the power hierarchy. Doesn't flow as well, right? Power pyramid, power hierarchy. Yeah. Power pyramid. Okay, pyramid. Who's at the top? Well, sometimes these people are kind of close to the top, I would say. Organized crime. Okay, they're not at the very top. You would think, but no. But technically all crime is organized, you know, to a point. But when I say organized crime, this is talking about like, you know, not your street gangs necessarily because they're a little lower, but the ones that would be higher up than that. So, you know, organized. You know. Here's a little picture for a few little illustration. This one always kind of makes me laugh because they're always drawn like a little brown people, and there's like one white dude in the front. Reminds me like a drug runner. You know what I mean? Like with his hat and stuff. Like, yeah, sure, dude, I'll do it. That kind. Anyways, not to stereotype anybody, but organized crime. There's all different kinds. They come in all different colors and creeds, but they're organized, okay? And they do things like trafficking, human trafficking, okay? So you bet your booty. Say if you know somebody and you know, you made them mad and they had access and they could get into your house, you let them in. Maybe they're a friend or a family member, and they put a little camera in your bathroom, and now they got that camera streamed, you know, to a live stream. And every time you take a shower or go to the bathroom, some people get off on that, you know. Such things we won't talk about, but in this world you must know that some people have very weird and strange habits, okay, that they've acquired that they need to break out of. But, you know, in the meantime, be aware of that, okay? So yeah, somebody you could know, a friend or family member, usually it's somebody you know, usually that's that link, even if they don't want to be, even if they don't mean to be, they're the link that gets that trafficking people who would do that into your life, okay? And then once they're in your life, it's hard to get rid of them, okay? Because they're live streaming, and sometimes they'll make money off of it because it can be a form of trafficking, okay? Who wants to see this woman naked in her bathroom all the time? Okay, well, you're going to get some people who want to. Some people just want to humiliate you. They want to see you naked, right? The Bible always talks about, you know, nakedness, shameful, right? Adam and Eve. Not to go back to the Bible, but hey, when Adam and Eve sinned, what was the first thing they realized? They were naked. Otherwise, they didn't know it, right? Nakedness is correlated with shamefulness, right? We have on clothes, okay? And that's for weather and for also even in hot climates. Even if you don't want to have, you know, you have on clothes to cover yourselves, right? It's a sin covering. That's right. Otherwise, we'd all walk around naked in hot climates, right? Animals do. You don't see them with clothes on. They don't feel a thing about it. They don't have conscience, right? They don't have a human conscience like we do. I digress. To look upon your nakedness is a big thing, okay? And people will pay to do so, okay? And there's people that get off on the crime of actually doing it. You say, well, why would they want to watch just an average person? Why wouldn't they go, you know, watch a professional, right? Somebody who looks really good and all that, and, you know, who's actually posing for the camera and wants to be on camera, right? Or for that time, whatever, that, you know, that situation. Not trying to judge those people, but, you know, why not look at that, right? Regular porn. Oh, because revenge porn is so much more personal. Anybody you ticked off, right? You got guy friends who really wanted to sleep with you. Wink, wink. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, you know, or men too, right? You have friends and they always wanted to be with you, but you didn't want to be with them. And so then they find out you got a little camera in your bathroom. Oh, boy. Revenge porn. Trauma show starring you and you and you. But I'm trying to help you avoid that. Take it from somebody who has lived through it. It's not fun. Okay? It's humiliating. It's embarrassing, which is exactly what they want it to be. They want to degrade you and spread your image, your naked image. And it's not just nakedness, too. I'll explain to you how they do it, but when they hack into devices, they have access to the microphones, so they can hear everything, and they have access to the cameras, which means they can see everything, okay, that you're doing in your house or wherever you're at any given time. And then they're broadcasting it, okay? So your embarrassing conversations, your personal conversations. And yeah, it's horrible. So one more thing I just want to mention before we move on. The WHO is doing this. Now, I mentioned to you your power pyramid and those close in your circle, okay? Also, though, with this technology, remember that it's controlled from high up. You know, regardless of who you are, I don't think your friends and family own or have access to, you know, satellite towers that they can broadcast from, right? So this has to be kind of orchestrated or maybe allowed, maybe is a better word, on a higher level, right? Because everything can be traced, right? If you got live stream going from your house to XYZ, all these people, you know, there's a trail of it. Yeah, sure there is. Okay, so now why would it be allowed to go on? Well, one thing, and I've done videos on this before, there are certain programs that are being run at any given time. And programs, I mean testing for training, research, and development. Training, research, and development. That's when they're developing what? Technology, okay? So they're training people how to use it, and they're researching it, and how does it work on a on a social scale, right? So when they do that, they need to, who do you think they're going to test on? You know, these are social programs. They want to test behaviors and see how it works in a society. That would be a perfect way, right? Revenge porn. See how these people, see what they do when they can record each other at all times. And you've seen revenge porn. There you go. So, I'm not saying that it's done by the ones at the top, but it's definitely allowed. If not actually done by, you know, because with programs now, you're going to take a look at this. Look up, come here. Come here, you. I hope you didn't click off yet. This is important. TI is high. Okay, who are these people? Smiling faces, right? Tell lies sometimes, not all. Okay, not all, but some. Just because somebody went to school and has a doctorate degree and dresses nice and clean shaven and looks the part and talks the part, walks the part, you know, educated. What about their heart condition? What about they're getting, you know, doing little extra programs for some kickbacks, right? Because they're a doctor, they wouldn't. They took a Hippocratic oath, right? Hippocratic. Okay, look at some of the symbolism, too, involved in the medical field. The little serpent with the... Anyways, look it up. Look up symbolism. We're not getting into that this video. No. Cyber stalking with revenge porn. I believe, based on other programs that have been run, that some people like the medical industry would know about it. Sure. Why? For training, research, and development. How does it affect the society when you do this? You know, for psychology, right? How can you control people? How can you alter behaviors? How can you modify behaviors? How can you control people, right? Shame-based, trauma-based mind control, right? Conditioning. How do you feel when you're always being watched? Because that's what happens when you get, you know, when people are, when you get put on this revenge porn, when you're targeted, it starts to make you feel a little, you know, on edge, right? Because you're being assaulted. Not directly, but people are having access to you that you didn't give access to, and live streaming it and humiliating you and scaring you. Oh yeah, the things they say aren't pleasant, obviously, right? Okay, who else could be responsible for this? We're still on the who. Someone like this. You guys know who this is. Come on. Yeah, I mean, he's a fictional character, but based upon, he represents the elite class in the world. I would say the United States, but it's really all over the world, you know. But Simpsons obviously is aired in the United States. It's the United States program. It's written by, you know, someone who was born in the United States. I think he was rumored to be has Masonic, association. So, of course, you know, he knows what he's talking about. He would know, right? The writer? Okay. So, anywho, it's Mr. Burns. He's a representation of the elite class, right? And, yeah, so you get it. Someone like that. They have all the money. They're bored. What would you do if you had a lot of money? You wouldn't have to work. You wouldn't have to worry about food, clothing, shelter. I mean, that takes up a lot of our time, right? How to survive. We're out here surviving. What would you do if you didn't have that, you know, drive? If you didn't have that need? That was all filled. No matter for the rest of your life, you have so much money, you never have to worry about working again. You'd get bored, too, a little bit. So what would you do? Yeah, you'd play around with satellites and stuff, right? The good people probably are doing good things, like creating medical stuff. And, you know, and the other ones are doing stuff like seeing about revenge porn. That's how it works, okay? Because it always trickles down. You got to figure. People at the top own this equipment that send out the broadcast to begin with, okay? And the fact that it's highly traceable, once you hack somebody, okay, great, but it can be traced. So why is it not more of a of an issue. Okay, let's get to that. Why? Why? Ask why. Why would they do this? Why would local perps do this? Why would, you know, trafficking? Why would somebody traffic or want to assault you? Power and control. It's always what crime is usually about. Crimes, power and control, domination over another human. There's a Bible scripture, and it says, oh, where is it at? I think it's in Ecclesiastes, King Solomon. He says, am I quoting it right? It's in the Bible anyways, and it says, man will dominate man to his injury. Okay, so men, and it's, you know, men and women, people will dominate each other to their injury, you know, hurting each other. Because why? Humans should not really rule each other. Only the creator. That's another video. But, you know, you tuned in. You come on, guys. You know what I talk about. You know my creed, my basis. So I'm not veering. I'm not veering off. This is for real. You know, the Bible has foretold prophecies and has been accurate. So, you know, the Bible proves itself over and over again. And that's a scripture in there anyways. Man will dominate man to his injury. Okay? To do stuff like this. You got all the powers in the world, and what are you going to do with it? Broadcast somebody for sexual purposes. Okay, but have faith, right? I just like this little picture. Okay, for those of you still with me, have faith. It's going to be okay. The true God still loves us always. This is actually a portrayal of Jesus Christ and not Jehovah, but you get the point, okay? So he was always kind, always taking time with people, teaching and preaching and setting things straight, wasn't he? Okay. And he paid a heavy price for it, but then he came back. So it worked out. Okay, so we have that to help us, you know, and also don't forget there's the good angels. I just figured I'd bring this up. I just want to give you some hope along with this, okay? The cyber stalking, revenge porn stuff. Okay, so we talked about the who. The reason I brought up Jesus and the good angels too and Jehovah God obviously is because they're part of the good people, the good spirit realm, and there's also good people in the world that will help us through this. Okay, so there's not just the SOBs out there trying to traffic and assault us. Just wanted everybody to know that. Okay, so who, what, where can happen anywhere that the broadcast can get into. So any home, any building. Okay, who, what, where, when, anytime, night or day. Although I've noticed a lot of perps like to film they like to live stream at night. Because I think when this revenge porn, it's more of a nighttime thing. You know what I mean? They want to see, I don't know, they're up at night. It's a nighttime, like a clubby type of crowd, I'm thinking. Just that crowd that watches those. But it can be done anytime. They'll even live stream you during the day when you're doing your regular duties, you know, shopping, running errands. They'll record it all. All right. Who, what, where, when, why for revenge. Also just for, you know, training, research, and development. So there's a money aspect. Same thing with trafficking. Then there's a money aspect on it. Okay. Now the how. You want to hear how this is done, right? I talked, you know, for 28 minutes on the who, what, where, when, why of this. Okay. So you know all that. But now you want to know the how. How would, if you were picked as a target, you know who did it, you know why they did it, more or less, money or revenge, and da-da-da. But how? How do they do this? How do they film you and live stream you for revenge porn? And how do you end up getting assaulted and or trafficked? Okay, well, here we go. I'll explain it real briefly. Advanced satellite-based technology. And there's about 5 steps to this, okay? All right, so good people, listen up, because the bad people are watching this and taking notes. I watched one time, and they were saying that a lot of people who do crimes like to watch crime shows to figure out how to do it better, you know, and not just regular crimes, you know, like the pretty bad ones, like how to serially murder people, not just, you know, serially. Like, that's not really like a, you know, that's, anyways. They're watching. So I want you guys to watch too. Pay attention, good people. Come on, I'm here to help. All right, I prepared this too for you. Okay. Advanced satellite-based technology. The satellites. Okay. That transmit to the electrical towers and also the cell phone towers and the Gwen towers. Okay. And then those go back and communicate with our devices. Right? To give us the broadcast. That's how we're getting this broadcast right now. Right? This broadcast is pinging off of some type of tower that comes from the satellite, right? Okay, good. Got it? Get it? Got it? Good. All right, so step 1, 5 steps. Your device would be hacked. Okay. What they would do would be to clone and sync them. Cloning just means to make a copy, okay? Or syncing is, right, you make a copy and then you mesh them together so that they're in sync. Then all devices, again, so phones, laptops, TVs, anything with Wi-Fi. Why is that? Because houses all have smart meters. We'll get into that in another, look that up. But anyways, they can get in through to any device. All right, so once the cloning syncing process is done, they don't have to have direct access to it. So just because they don't have your phone or have your computer, they can still hack into it remotely, okay? For phones, all they need is the actual phone number. So be careful who you give your number out to, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Step 2, so after they hack your phone and clone it, they make a copy of it, then they can have access inside of it. Then they go inside your phone, and step 2, all the apps are then hacked. Okay, what kind of apps? Social media apps. The big ones. Yeah. Okay, so then they get to see all your messages, all your posts, all your, right? Your calls. Okay, and then how do they do that? They take the APKs from those platforms, okay, any social media platform, and they use the platform developer ID, okay? Step 3, then they load the APKs from your devices, okay, and apps. So your phone and the apps all inside of it, your social media apps, okay? And then they load them to something like Android Studios and begin altering and modifying and adding and removing different settings to your original device to build the new cloned apps, okay? So this is all virtual. They don't have a copy of, they don't have your phone, right? Or they don't have your computer. You still have it, the hard device, but remember, it runs off of signals, EMFs. So who cares? You have the hard device, but they have a virtual copy of it. So they can have access to your voicemail, right? To your calls, to your social media, to everything on your devices. And the camera and the microphones is the most important part to do this stalking thing. That's the thing they love. They love the apps, the social media apps, and they love the mics and the cameras. Okay, so then, so yeah, they modify and they add everything on your phone, their copy of it, okay? They remove different settings to build the new cloned apps, okay, that look just like your original ones. You wouldn't know that your phone is cloned or your computer, okay? This is all done using coding skills, and it's all invisible to the target. So again, you'll never know it. You'll still have your phone, it'll still work. It might look a little different, it might power down. I remember when mine was first hacked, I could tell because it kept getting really hot, like it was, they were really trying to suck out the, to do this process. I remember it. And kept powering off, powering on, like messages were coming up missing, but then I thought, okay, then I power it off and leave it off for a little while. I'm like, oh, I hope I don't have to replace my new, whole new phone. And then, a couple of days later, it'd be okay again, and I would never know the difference. I figured something was up, but I didn't know it was this. This was like 5 years ago. I didn't know. Okay, so anyways, your devices will look the same to you, more or less. Step 4, they build a website. Okay, they're active, okay, and they're determined. They build a website and they integrate multiple targets, devices, and apps on there. So say somebody's targeting you, okay, and they're doing revenge porn. Or say somebody that wants you targeted and knows this dude or this chick that knows how to do this, right? They know coding, they know how to build websites, they know how to clone, they know how to hack, they can do it, right? And a lot of people do. I mean, if you have a lot of time, or if you're inclined to that, remember I said you can use things, can be tools or can be weapons. You could be using it as a wonderful tool and working for a company, making money or helping people get used to technology. Or you could be a SOB and just be building websites like this to humiliate people. So they have multiple targets and their devices. When I say targets, I mean people. They have multiple people's devices, so it's not just one. Okay, it's the trauma show with just one person. That'd be boring. No, they want to switch it up a little. It's like a TV station full of real people. Okay, reality shows, trauma shows, but real life. Real life people starring you and you and you and me. Our lives. At any given moment, whenever your device is around you. Okay. So once they do that, they get you on their website with multiple people. Lots of people are being targeted, and then they have complete access to the apps and the device itself. Again, the cameras and the microphones, so they can see from the camera and they can hear from the microphones. Everything. Okay, step 5. Once they have all that, what do? They host it. Okay, because they got their website. They've talked, you know, they got their little group of people. They want to see people naked. Yeah, man, I want to see naked women. I want to see showering. I want to see, oh, that chick, yeah, I hate her too. Let's watch her life, you know. And she had an issue with my sister or yeah, forget it. This is a real thing, people. Be careful. You make people mad and they have access to this stuff. You can get yourself on a website somewhere and not even know it. And honestly, you don't even have to have done something to get on this website. You could just be a pretty girl or a guy that somebody likes, has a crush on you. You don't return it. You know, they've seen you. Like I said, all they need is your phone number. So you could meet somebody at work or wherever and say, oh, you know, we just exchanged numbers and we're going to be study buddies at school or something, or, you know, to pick up shifts at work, right? They got your phone number. All they need to know is that one person, that wrong person. They got your phone number. They can clone your device. They can sync it. They can build a website, put your information on their website and have access to your phone and have you live stream, broadcasted to the world. Tom, Dick, and Harry. Yeah. Okay, and then they get paid. This is all access. That's what they call it. It's all access paid live streams of people's lives without their consent. That's what it is. Okay? And just to wrap it up here, why would that be an issue? Okay, so what? You know, my life's not interesting. They'll turn it off. No, they won't. It's very addictive. They get off on the power of it, you know? And they get so bad as sometimes they'll add to the game. They'll say, okay, we got them on live stream, but they got your device hacked too. Remember now, everything. So they got the GPS tracker. Then they can track you wherever you're going. Like, where's Waldo? Or like Pac-Man. And literally, they can play a game. This has been done. Follow you around town amongst their friends. Oh, sure, if you got enough people, all you would need is 100 people to follow that one person and live stream them while you're there. Yeah, it's a game, people. This is a game. Good people, hear me out. This is what they're doing. Okay? You heard it here. You heard it here. Sherry's research and reviews. I researched it. I reviewed it. Okay. Advanced satellite-based technology, cyber stalking, revenge porn, trauma show starring you. And you. And you. And me. Okay? So, what are we going to do about it? Yeah. Well, it's a voyeurism. It's a crime to look at somebody without their consent, to broadcast their image without their consent is a crime of voyeurism. I would think. Yeah, it's stalking is what it is because it's unwanted. It's harassment. Okay. It's a, you know, it's a crime of power and control. And I'm going to tell you, it can lead up to assaults because now, let's just take it back a little. I'm going to wrap up here. But what happened is your friend gave your information to this group of people. Now, this group of people has access to you, okay? Everybody in the group might not be crazy. They might just be, you know, a little rough around the edges, but they're just bored. They're just laughing, whatever, you know, laughing at your bad time. But there could be that 1 or 2 people that just a little more crazier than the rest. A little bit, maybe they have a sexual, you know, crime tendencies. Maybe they're not rap type all the way. Maybe they have rapist tendencies, right? Power and control. They're already watching you, right? Some people can watch and laugh. Ah, ha, ha, look at that. But some people can watch and take it seriously. Oh, now they're starting to start, you know, and then they're seeing you every day. Then you might get a stalker who just, oh, they think they're in love with you. I love this woman. They don't know you. May never met you. Maybe they met you a couple times. They don't know you. This happens to news anchors and celebrities, okay? They're very at high risk for this, but they have security, right? And they're aware of this, and they're in their arena. They know that when they get famous and when they go into celebritydom, they know that this is part of the, you know, par for the course. Okay, us regular people, we're not prepared for this. Because for one, you don't know what's happening until a video like this, right? You didn't know that you could be on a reality show starring you. without your consent. You wouldn't even know it sometimes. Okay, dangerous, because it can make stalkers, they're seeing you and they can come stalk you. And remember I said they got the GPS tracker. Okay, yeah, so real dangerous, real dangerous. What else can they do? Can turn to trafficking. They're already making money, right? They could be broadcasting for free, among friends, but then maybe a little local trafficker gets a whiff of it. Oh yeah, sure, I'd like to, then, oh, now they're charging, trafficking, harassment, crimes, voyeurism, leading to assaults, leading to and or even worse. Okay, it's not all fun and games. When strangers have access to your information, it is not fun and games. It is a form of cyber stalking. Stalking. And stalking can lead to worse. Okay? Revenge porn. All right, thank you guys so much for listening, right? Trauma show starring you. Try not to get on there, guys. Okay? Revenge porn. Okay? Cyber stalking. Cyber stalking is what it is. Okay? Stalking. And at any moment, depending on who you know and who wants access to you, you can become a target and your image be plastered all over some website that you don't even know, that you don't want to be on. Okay? So, good people, hope you're listening, because the criminals are, all right? We need to fix this. We need some new laws with our legislation. This cannot start from the bottom. We can't make changes. We need the upper levels to do it. Before they will make changes, though, they need to know that the public is aware of this and acknowledging it, that it's a concern. Oh, no, nobody would do that. It's not. Oh, yes. But yes, they would. And yes, they are. And yes, people are at risk. Just like regular stalking, this needs to be taken just as seriously, okay? Because we're living in a new age of advanced satellite-based technology where things like this are possible. And crimes are going to be committed more with this type of technology, okay? So we need new laws. First thing we can do is spread the word. Okay, share this video, please. Hit like and subscribe. Share this video. Do your research. Don't just take my word for it, right? Check out advanced satellite-based technology. Check out broadcasts. Check out live streams. Try to find live stream channels. See what they're talking about. Those are the consensual ones. Now remember, just like it can be done consensually, remember I gave you that 5-step process. It can be done non-consensually by your devices being hacked into. Okay? Can. Yeah, can and does all the time. All right? Yeah, so if you found this valuable, hit like and subscribe, share it. If you hit the like and subscribe, it's on the right-hand side, upper right-hand side of your screen underneath this video. Okay, and then there's a little bell next to it. Click the bell, and what that does is it alerts you whenever I do a new video if you want more content like this. It's kind of nice so that you know, and you don't have to watch the video. It'll just pop up as an alert, and you'll see the title of it and everything, and if you want to watch it, and please do. Mine are usually interesting. If not, swipe away. No problem. No hard feelings. Okay. What else? I always wanted to, I wanted to say I post a new video every Tuesday and Saturday. I haven't been keeping up on it lately, but I'm back on it. Okay. So it's interesting. I just want to help. I want to give you information, valuable, free and valuable information that helps you to benefit yourself as well as others. Okay. And then what else? What about you? Enough about me. Okay. What about you? What are you going to research? You going to research some of this? I think that you should. I think that you'll learn a lot, and it's valuable. Okay, so thank you for your time, good people. And I'm going to do my next video. It will be on tips to recognize if you are on a live stream broadcast. Okay, some of the symptoms, both physically as well as in your environment, that'll cue you in. Okay, and tips to prevent this, okay? And I don't mean to leave you hanging, because you need to know how to prevent it. But like always, with everything, watch your circle of people. Watch who's around you. That's my advice. Just be very conscientious of that. Ladies and gentlemen, Be careful about who you call your friends. People who like you. I did a video on that. Can guys and girls be friends? A lot of times if someone starts out liking you and you try to keep them in the friend zone, that can cause a lot of hard feelings, okay? And hard feelings, you wouldn't think somebody would take it to that level, you know, but they might think in their head, well, if I can't have you, not that no one else can, but well, then everybody, then I'll just share your image, your nakedness, right, with everybody. It's a form of humiliation, public humiliation, shame, when also can lead to assault and trafficking. I mean, this is serious, you know, so watch your circle real closely, okay? Try to just stay honor, you know, stick to your creed and your honor as much as possible. You know, follow the guidelines that the true God has set forth for us. That's the best way to go. I know you might not like to hear it, and if you've ever had a problem with religion, just remember, God, the true God, is not just wrapped up in religion. He's actually a spirit person with a personality, and he loves us all, okay? He loves us. So that's my ending, I think. Yes. Do your research. God loves us. Thank you for spending this time. Bye, good people.